At a restaurant, a 6-year-old boy is crying in the corner of the room because he wanted to eat pork over beef. I like beef and pork, but I want pork more today, so I'm gonna get pork, he thought to himself and said, "Pork, please," to the waiter. His grandfather interfered and said, "No, you're getting beef." If it wasn't clear, that was me, and that's basically how I grew up. Korean culture used to be very traditional and conservative, and of course, my family had to be the ones that maintained the culture. I was never myself. I felt like a puppet putting up a show to make my grandparents happy. I had to stay silent, not supposed to disagree with what elders have told me, had to follow these traditional cultures, and do what others have told me to do. Once I got accustomed to being told what to do, I found comfort in following directions and not voicing any disagreements. When I was 10, my family moved to New York. I was free from my grandparents, but once I tasted the comfort of not making a decision, I couldn't make my own decision. Even after I moved, I continued to live what others wanted me to be. I went to 7 different SAT prep schools, studying all sorts of subjects. Somehow, my mom was able to gather all these Asian mom intel on how to get your kid into a prestigious college. And I just went to places she told me to go. I was waiting to go to college so I can be free from my family, but even with college selection, I struggled to voice my own opinion. At least on a brighter note, I went from New York to California, so at least I was free from my family. Once I got to Berkeley, no one was telling me what to do. It felt like I was running on a paved highway with guardrails directing me where to go, and in the end, it was an empty field with no set roads ahead of me. I first went back to my comfort. I decided to join a research group to continue what I did in high school. My grandfather told me to get a PhD, go become a professor, or work at a national lab, and I've been working towards that goal. As I was working at a lab I had no interest in, and studying power generations where I had no interest in, my mental health was at a rock bottom to a point where I just didn't want to do anything. I was just laying in bed, not doing anything for days, and the image of the restaurant appeared in my head, and it made me question, why was I crying? Is it because I really, really wanted that pork that badly? Or because I hated the humiliation of not being able to make my own decision on what I want to eat publicly? I was probably too young to have any sophisticated thought, but my instinct probably made me cry. I want to voice my own opinions. It is easy to let others influence you and want to be like others. However, you are the main character in your life, and no one should take over control of your story. I'm not saying you're going to be the next Steve Jobs if you live as yourself, but if you continue to live as yourself and put yourself as a top priority, at least you will have a meaningful life that you decided on. This doesn't mean don't listen to others and just trust your gut instinct. Take other people's advice as advice and criticism as criticism without any meaning beyond that. As I took this lesson myself, I'm able to express more about what I want to do, and this helped me figure out what I want to do for the future, but also correcting my parents when something didn't seem right and able to have a conversation about what's a better alternative. Make sure to take care of yourself. Put yourself before anyone else and don't mind too much about what others think of you. Take some time out during your day to do something you like, such as cooking a meal or walking outside. This is a hard task to do to internalize these ideas and put it into action. I am still working on it myself, and I still make mistakes. But at least this time, I won't just cry like I did when I was 6. But say, why I want pork over beef this time and order pork.